Inside the massive hangars at Moffett Federal Airfield, Google is attempting to do something that balloon experts deemed impossible: deliver high-speed internet access to the most remote corners of the globe.
The first 60 or so balloons we launched all burst when they got to altitude, which was very sort of disheartening.
This is something that has never been asked of balloons before, to be reliable and to do what we expect them to do. Before it was just sort of like a vehicle to gain knowledge. Now we're trying to make a business.
Launched in 2012, the first 2 years of Project Loon were a process of rapid iteration. The team had to prove it was possible to deliver reliable internet access to specific locations in the most remote parts of the globe. They began with the simplest possible approach: electronics stuffed into a styrofoam beer cooler floating at the edge of outer space. When that didn't fail, they kept moving forward. Last year, the team made a critical decision: switching from a wireless router to an LTE antenna.
We are just like a cell phone tower, but in the sky. And the same way that their central office of the telco interacts with all their cell towers, they will interact with our balloon. Another way to think about it is, if you drive down the highway on a phone call, you will switch between cell towers. What we're doing is kind of flipping that on its head. So you're standing still on the ground with your LTE phone, and as one balloon goes overhead, another balloon comes in range, and you're switching between one balloon to another without dropping the call. The balloons today can cover 5,000 square kilometers on the ground. You can get 15 megabits per second to your phone, or if you have a little MiFi device, you can get 40 megabits per second from the balloon. Our longest lasting balloon was up for 173 days until we brought it down. Now we've gotten to the point where most of the balloons will last over 100 days.
Done. Here we go, and we're awake. Ta-da! Don't put your fingers in there.
Yeah. What you're seeing is a balloon inside a balloon. We have a unique way of actually adjusting the altitude in these balloons.
This balloon has a constant volume, and there is helium in it, right? So the helium brings the balloon up. And now, if we want to change altitude, we have another balloon inside the balloon that we fill with air. And as we add more air in there, the mass is going to increase, and the balloon is going to go down.
Okay, this is called Hans, and we named it that because there was a Saturday Night Live skit which was Hans and Franz that's going to pump you up. And what it does is it's a little fan, and it pumps air into the balloon. It's easy to steer the balloon by picking up different winds and different wind directions at different altitudes.
By doing small change of altitude, you can do something like this. You go up, use this wind, then go down, use this wind, and go up, down, up, and down.
So this balloon has straps holding the apex up, and that balloon did not.
Right, which is why it's sitting down there.
Yeah, because yesterday when we were filling it up, it got in a twist to the point where it just did that. That's what happened. There you go. So we just popped the ballonnet because it was twisted. That was the test here.
Over the last 6 months, Google has run tests with Vodafone, Telstra, and Telefonica, utilizing their networks to provide connectivity to customers who normally live with little or no internet access. Loon believes that it can provide service to these remote regions at a fraction of the typical cost.
Sometimes people think of Google X as a research lab that's not necessarily a business, but that's not true. All of the projects on Google X have to have a business plan, a business case, and the business case for Project Loon is really exciting. It's still early stages in our project in terms of figuring out how big it can grow. It's great for bringing internet to 4 billion people on Earth who don't have it and bringing all the benefits, education, medical information, weather reports, but it's also a business in itself, a very good business. If many of these 4 billion people, even paying what they can afford, 1 or 2% of their monthly income, can now afford to have internet access, and it's a very good business in itself. Increasing the internet penetration by 10% in a country will increase the GDP by about 1.4% per year. So in many ways, technologies that can increase internet penetration of 10 or 20% can double the growth of standard of living of half the countries in the world.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, it is.